You are listening to Integrity Radio. I'm your host, Lakeisha.
And I'm your co-host, Sandra Gage, President and CEO of Integrity Stewardship Enterprise.
And today we're talking about credit scores.
Yes, a credit score is something that we really need to talk about, Keisha.
So what is a credit score?
A credit score is a 3-digit number that's generated by a mathematical algorithm. And they take that information from your credit report.
Who is they?
Usually the people that you request your credit score from, whether it's one of the 3 credit bureaus or if it's the FICO, myfico.com.
And what do they do with this number?
They take that number to determine if you are a risk for money that they want to loan you.
So, how many different credit scores are there?
There is probably over 80 credit scores out there. Companies generating credit scores, so it's not just one credit score. I used to think that it was 3 credit scores from the 3 main credit bureaus, but actually credit companies, credit financial institutions, they all have a certain algorithm or formula that they add to the credit scores. So there's many different types of credit scores out there. There is no one specific credit score.
Like FICO?
Like FICO. FICO came from the Fair Isaac Company, and that is really the major standard for credit scores. At least it has been for many years. But the FICO score really only looks at your credit from what you did in your past history. A lot of the new credit score rating companies that are coming out, like Vantage, is looking at predicting what you'll do in the future.
So why do we need this credit score?
Businesses need a credit score so that they can actually determine if you're going to be delinquent on the credit obligations that you have. They have no way of knowing from what you fill out on your paperwork whether you are a really responsible person or whether you're filling out the paperwork and then you're not going to make a payment.
So what kind of things do they decide your credit score from?
Well, the credit score is from several different elements. Your payment history makes up 35% of your credit score, and that is how you pay your account. Your delinquent payments, any public records like liens, those kind of things make up 35%, and that's your payment history. Then you have the amount owed. That makes up 30% of your credit score.
Okay.
That is about how much do you owe on your accounts and the amount of available credit that you're using on revolving accounts, which is very heavily weighted. Another element of the credit score is the length of credit history. That's 15% of your credit score. That's all about how long ago you opened that account and the time since the last time you used that account. Then you have the type of credit used. That makes up 10% of your credit score. What kind of mix of accounts do you have? Is there revolving credit as well as installment credit? So that counts as 10%. And then new credit. That's 10% of your credit score. Your pursuit of new credit, including credit inquiries and any recently opened accounts, that counts as 10% of your credit score.
So what is a credit scoring model?
Well, a credit scoring model, within a scoring model, there's more than one formula used to calculate a score. And each formula is designed for a category of consumers with similar credit profiles. The information in your credit file determines which formula is used. So if you have new credit, the scoring model would be different for someone that had credit for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And using that scoring formula, it would be specific to those different groups of people. So they group it like, say, a person that never had credit before, you would be in the young people's credit history group. Whereas a person that's had credit for many years, that would be another group. And there's different formulas depending on which group you fall into.
Okay. So, is there anything else that we need to know about credit scores?
Yes, well, in regards to credit scores, they have something that they call a scorecard. And I'll back up for a minute. A credit score is just like a grade. Like when you were in high school, your credit report is like what they said about you in the classes that you took. But the credit score is like the grade you got if you got an A, B, C, D, E, or F.
Right.
I mean, sorry, not an E, but an A, B, C, D, or an F.
Mm-hmm.
That is pretty much what a credit score is. It is your actual grade of how you're doing in life, handling your finances.
Okay.
So getting back to the credit scorecard, there's something called a scorecard, which is a unique scoring environment that's designed to evaluate the potential risk of a certain group of people. For example, the scorecard is designed to score consumers with only one account on their credit report, and that they would call that person a bankrupt that has a bankrupt scorecard because they only have one account. And the norm would be someone would have like maybe 10 or more scorecards.
I've never heard this before.
I've only recently found this out through my research. I thought it very interesting, and I thought it was something that people might want to know. That it is very important what kind of score you get.
So, is it different to find out your scorecard than your credit score?
No, this is stuff that is done behind the scenes when they're coming up with your credit score.
Okay. So how does your credit score affect your life?
A good credit score will give you these kind of benefits. You'll be able to get lower interest rates. You'll have a better chance of getting a job when you're filling out those job applications, because a lot of times employers go to get your credit report or credit scores to see if you look like you're a responsible person. You'll also have a better chance for housing opportunities. Businesses use credit scores to figure out if you are reliable and if you're trustworthy. If you get a good credit score, you're probably going to be a reliable and a trustworthy person, right?
Right.
That means that you're probably going to be a better employee. That also is telling the insurance company that you're probably not going to have as many insurance claims because you're a responsible person.
Right.
And that's also probably telling the landlord that you're going to pay your rent on time.
Right.
Businesses and creditors want to know if you are a responsible person. The credit score is the only tool that they have to measure your ability or your lack of ability to do what you say you're going to do. One other note for our listeners today, which has been some debate, is that your personal or your demographic information such as age, race, address, marital status, income, and employment does not affect your credit score. Did you know that?
That's good to know. Well, if you have any questions about this topic or any comments, please go to integritystewardship.com. Or you can email us at integrityradio@integritystewardship.com. We'll be right back.